our desire is to put an end to it and send a message that it's not something that we'll tolerate.
A man is accused of pretending to be a Marine to get use of a service dog and a free flight.
Investigators are trying to figure out what started a fire that killed a Harlan County woman. And search and rescue crews were out on the lake this morning looking for the victim of a possible drowning.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
He claimed to be a needy, wounded warrior, but police say he lied. You're watching WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. Police arrested Jeffrey Alcorn when he arrived at Bluegrass Airport yesterday. The Veterans Organization says he used false documents for a free flight where he picked up a service dog in Georgia. Tonight, WKYT's Sam Smith is talking to the founder of that organization. Sam has our top story.
Officials say after his flight landed, Jeffrey Alcorn of Nicholasville was arrested. His flight was paid for by a group called Veterans Airlift Command. They provide flights for wounded veterans. Volunteers with the organization tell me they called police when they found out Alcorn was pretending to be a veteran to fly to and from Georgia to pick up a service dog.
Most of our passengers are pretty easy to vet. We don't require a lot of paperwork because most of these guys you can track just with a simple Google search.
Walt Fickey founded the organization. He told me over the phone they found out about Alcorn's history before he left Lexington. He says they allowed Alcorn to get the dog and bring it back so he could be charged with the crime. Police charged him with 2 counts of theft by deception.
We don't want resources being taken from guys who've earned them.
Fickey says his organization encounters things like this very seldomly. But when they suspect someone is trying to take advantage of them, they act on it.
When someone does that, it's our desire that they get caught and sort of hung out to dry.
Fickey says a volunteer flew the service dog back to its trainers in Georgia to be given to a, quote, deserving veteran. In Lexington, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Court documents say Alcorn admitted to never serving in the military. He's scheduled to be in court tomorrow at 1 p.m. We now know the name of the man killed in a boating accident in southern Kentucky. The Pulaski County Deputy Coroner says 58-year-old David Zuver died yesterday. Emergency management leaders say Zuver and his wife were trying to tie up their houseboat near the Burnside Marina when she injured her ankle. They believe her husband died trying to help her. They say he got caught between the houseboat and the bank. The deputy coroner says the couple is from Ohio. And in Whitley County, search crews were out on Laurel Lake again today looking for the victim of a possible drowning. Last night, a couple reported seeing a teenager go down in the water at the spillway. Crews spent the day searching but didn't find anyone. More scattered storms are rolling into the area, and the heat and humidity will stick around for the work week. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has an early look at the forecast. Hey, Jim.
We started tracking those showers and thunderstorms yesterday. They started developing again today, and they will carry over into the new work week. Out there tonight, though, things have quietened down quite a bit. We're sitting at 74 degrees in Lexington and more. Upper 60s, low 70s are also out there across parts of central and eastern Kentucky. So it's not bad. A little muggy as well. So keep that in mind. The muggier air is here, as it should be. It's August. Not tracking the showers and thunderstorms out there at the moment. Now, earlier, it was real spotty in nature. They started popping up across parts of Lexington. We had a couple of showers just go up in different sections of the county. Didn't cover up the whole county, just here and there. Same thing was happening down to our south and down to our southeast as well. Tomorrow will look a lot like that. As we plan your Monday, we get out the door tomorrow, we're around 69 degrees. Mostly clear, it's smooth sailing at that point. By lunchtime, a mix of sun and clouds, and there might be a stray storm possible. 80 degrees at that point. And then as you're heading home, scattered showers and thunderstorms will start to develop. We're talking about some muggier air in place as well. So if you're outside of a thunderstorm, you're just going to be feeling some of that heat and humidity. There's a chance some of you could actually get into the upper 80s tomorrow, but those storms will be around to cool things back off. More chances of rain will be with us at least through midweek. That's when we'll be at the peak of the possibility of precipitation. We'll take a closer look at that coming up in just a few minutes.
Firefighters in Harlan County are trying to figure out what started a fire that killed a woman. The first reports of the fire came in early this morning in the Stamford community in Harlan County. Investigators say 26-year-old April Dean did not make it out of the home. They do suspect foul play. New tonight, a man involved in a shootout at a Southern Kentucky hotel is now facing charges. The Commonwealth Journal reports 28-year-old Christopher McCracken from Nashville will answer to evidence tampering and weapons charges. A grand jury indicted him last week. Police say back in June he was involved in a shootout in the parking lot at America's Best Value Inn. At the time of the shooting, police told us members of several motorcycle clubs were also involved. Tonight, we're hearing from a Lexington woman sentenced for her boyfriend's murder. A judge sentenced Shayna Hubers Friday to 40 years in prison. Prosecutors pointed out that Hubers, who was convicted of murder back in April, had yet to apologize for the crime. Hubers did offer an apology in court, but not directly to the victim, Ryan Poston's family.
I'm sorry to my family, and I'm sorry to my friends for letting them down, and I'm sorry for any hardship I've caused other people.
Hubers is a Lexington native and a graduate of Dunbar High School. She's been in jail since October 2012. City leaders in Lexington have ordered crews to stop work on the site of the new Lexington High School on Winchester Road. Our partners at the Herald-Leader report city leaders issued a statement last night saying Fayette County Public Schools did not have a building permit at the time they started construction. School district spokeswoman Lisa Defendahl said, quote, building permits are applied for by and issued to the contractor, and we will be working with both the city and the contractor to resolve this issue as quickly as possible. The school is expected to open in fall 2017. Classes will start tomorrow for students at a Madison County school. Daniel Boone Elementary did not start last Wednesday as scheduled. Construction at the school was not complete, so Madison County school leaders pushed back the start date. The district says students at Daniel Boone will not have to make up the missed days because their school calendar is already longer than the state requires. After months of construction, a stretch of Alumni Drive is back open. The area between Tates Creek Road and Nicholasville Road closed back in May so crews could build a roundabout. UK leaders say the goal was to finish the $5 million project before the first home football game. Those who live close to the stadium are glad the project is complete.
We're so excited for football season, and that's one of the things you get with being down near the area is traffic headaches, so we're kind of prepared for that.
UK leaders expect around 20,000 cars to travel through the new roundabout daily. One of two parachutists injured during a mid-air collision Saturday at a Chicago air show has died. The parachute team canceled its Sunday performances. They're trying to figure out what went wrong. Brian Webb reports.
This video shows the parachutist clipping a building after the mid-air collision. He landed on Lakeshore Drive and was rushed to the hospital.
The man was coming in really low and appeared to be almost motionless or lifeless.
He hit the building right there, like at his calves, and he flipped over and he fell in between and he hit that wall and then he fell.
32-year-old Sergeant First Class Corey Hood of Cincinnati was pronounced dead one day after the accident by the Cook County Medical Examiner. He was a member of the Army's Golden Knights parachute team. Hood collided with a member of the Navy's Leapfrog team while performing what's called a bomb burst, a maneuver where parachutists circle each other with red smoke swirling around them as they free fall at speeds that can reach 180 miles an hour.
It was scary. Everyone just stopped talking. It was a moment of silence. It was a true moment of silence.
The other parachutist landed on a beach and suffered a broken leg. He was later released from the hospital. Brian Webb for CBS News.
A team spokesman says Sergeant Hood leaves behind a wife. 4 people are dead after 2 small planes crashed midair near a Southern California airport. The Federal Aviation Administration says the wreck happened about 2 miles northeast of Brownfield Municipal Airport in southern San Diego County. Both planes were headed toward the airport. The crash started several small brush fires in the area that firefighters are still trying to put out. Rescue crews say a search plane spotted wreckage of a missing airliner in Indonesia. An airliner carrying 54 people lost contact with air traffic control about half an hour after taking off. Flight leaders say there was bad weather in the area at the time, and villagers reported seeing a plane crash into a mountain. There's no immediate word of survivors. Volleyball players from across the area came to Lexington today for a memorial tournament. The annual event started 8 years ago to honor a victim of Flight 5191. Every year, teams compete in the Fenton-Dawson Memorial Volleyball Tournament. Dawson was one of 49 people killed on board Comair 5191 at Bluegrass Airport in 2006.
It's been 9 years and you drive up and it feels like it was yesterday. So that can be a little rough, but once you get in here and the energy gets going and everybody's telling stories and laughing, it's exactly what he would have been doing.
Flight 5191 crashed in August 2006. Dawson was 46 years old. A game changer in the civil rights movement has died. Julian Bond dedicated his life to social justice and serving the black community. Bond's imprint on social activism started at age 20 when he co-founded the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. He was also an iconic figure of the 60s civil rights movement and marched alongside John Lewis and Martin Luther King Jr. He served in the Georgia State Legislature for 20 years and was chairman of the NAACP for a decade. Bond was 75 years old. Police in New York City say Morgan Freeman's 33-year-old step-granddaughter was murdered outside her home early this morning. They found Adina Hines lying on the street with multiple stab wounds. They rushed her to a local hospital where she died. They also took a 30-year-old man into custody at the scene and transported him to a hospital nearby. In a statement to People magazine, Morgan said, "Her star will continue to shine bright in our hearts, thoughts, and prayers. May she rest in peace." An Eastern Kentucky congregation says their burnt-down building won't stop them from worshiping. A fire destroyed the Paiso Free Will Baptist Church in Pike County last Monday. This morning, more than 100 members of the congregation held service outside what's left of the building. Members say they're feeling optimistic about the future.
For me, it's important to see people come back to show that it's not about the building, it's about the people, and it's about the family and the friendship here.
Church leaders hope to rebuild in the same spot. This morning, they raised more than $1,500 for the church's new building.